All right. Welcome back to episode 6 of the 28th day of Black History Month. Episode 6 will include George Washington Carver. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure most people know about George Washington Carver. Like he made he was an agriculturalist and a scientist and an inventor, and he wanted to find a different crop rather than cotton, so it wouldn't dilute the soil anymore. So he used peanuts. And side note, fun fact, he wasn't the one who invented the peanut. He just used the peanut to create, a lot more stuff. So, but he was a scientist, an inventor, and he promoted alternative crops to cotton and methods to prevent soil depletion. He was one of the most prolific black scientists of the early 20th century. Like he wanted farmers to grow other crops such as peanuts and sweet potatoes as a source of their own food and to improve their quality of life. Under his leadership, he published over 40 practical bulletins for farmers, many written by him, which included recipes. Many of the bulletins contained advice for poor farmers, including combining soil depletion with limited financial means, producing bigger crops, and preserving food. So he was a smart man, very smart man, professor, all that good stuff, right? But most people think that he actually made the peanut, and he did not, but he was very smart. But the uses for those peanuts, what uses? So George Washington Carver created 300 products derived from peanuts, including cheese, milk, coffee, flour, ink, dyes, plastic, wood, stains, soap, medical oils, and cosmetics. So he found a ton of uses to make peanuts and to help poor black farmers, which I'm assuming who are only doing cotton. So he wanted to find something like peanuts and all that other stuff, and he did, which is amazing. And so he deserves this number 6 episode. He deserves this number 6 episode because he's going to rest in power. Because he contribute a lot to the black community. So, all right. Without further ado,
DraftKings Pick 6. Play it right, and that multiplier could go off. Could be 25x or more.
Pick 6 is daily fantasy with big upside. Compete against others and your payout could catch fire. New customers get $60 in bonus picks for playing a $5 entry. Ride the upside.
Born into slavery in Missouri, George Washington Carver was orphaned as an infant and raised by Moses and Susan Carver, the family who had owned his mother. As a frail child, he was not required to help with heavy farm chores and spent his days exploring nature and the plants in the Carver house. Soon, he became known as the plant doctor. George left the Carver home to pursue an education on his own. After 2 years, he earned a certificate of merit and would have to move again in order to continue learning. He moved 75 miles away to Fort Scott, Kansas. He worked at menial jobs while trying to save enough money for school. But his life was a lonely one, filled with poverty, cruelty, and prejudice. When he witnessed a black man being lynched, he fled. He had been accepted to Highland College in Kansas, but on arrival, he was turned away because of his race. In 1886, he settled on a farm in Ness County, Kansas. While there, he performed agricultural experiments that would later be valuable to him. George was able to save enough money for a semester at Simpson College in Iowa to study art. Out of 300 attending, he was the only black student, and he was welcomed. He was described as having a burning zeal to know everything. His art teacher was so impressed with his ability with plants and encouraged him to major in horticulture. He transferred to Iowa State Agricultural College and graduated in 1894. In 1896, having received a master's, George was offered a position by respected educator Booker T. Washington of the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. At Tuskegee, George decided on his purpose in life. He was going to help a former slave population become self-sufficient through farming.
Carver had been trained in Iowa in the natural sciences, in botany, and as a scientist and investigator, Carver was a deeply practical man. He wanted to turn science into products that would benefit the black rural poor.
He developed the Jessup wagon, a movable laboratory on wheels to help educate farmers. He encouraged them to rotate their crops to conserve the nutrients in the soil and to give up soil-depleting cotton crops. He persuaded the farmers to plant peanuts instead. In his Tuskegee lab, he developed over 300 uses for the peanut and 100 uses for the sweet potato. Anything from beverages to medicines to paints. Carver collaborated with Henry Ford in developing alternative fuels with soybeans. He also perfected a process for extracting rubber from the milk of the goldenrod plant.
Carver produced a series of scientific inventions that were primarily designed to enhance the economic and agricultural productivity of the Black Belt. They benefited black and white farmers alike.
This prolific scientist was also a painter, a crocheter, and a musician, even raising money.
I didn't know that. That he was a painter. All I know, well, is what Wikipedia told me.
For the Tuskegee Institute by touring as a pianist. He had once turned down the opportunity to work with Thomas Edison because he believed he would do more good at Tuskegee.
After World War I, by the 1920s, Carver had become something of a legend, a folk hero to the Black South.
George Washington Carver died on January 5th, 1943. He was buried at Tuskegee next to his friend Booker T. Washington. His tombstone reads, "He could have added fortune to fame, but caring for neither, he found happiness and honor in being helpful to the world."
George Washington Carver's greatest accomplishment was in being a role model to a generation of young African American scientists who followed him.
Oh yeah, okay. So I didn't know that he turned down to work with. Like, you turned it. Wikipedia has no. Yeah, I'm not going through all of this though. That's just crazy. George Washington Carver is turning down to work with some of the prolific guys because he already had his mind set. I already got my mind set. I can't work with you. I do more here.
I see what you mean, Squeaks. Your plans haven't
All right, you know what? This one's just going to be a short one today about George Washington Carver. Cutting it short. Simple video. I don't mean to cut it short, but when I come back and edit this and put this on YouTube, I'm gonna put much more of